Yes, I am back. Video 4. So, make a point here real quick. So, this last time, what did we do? I rotated the icon. Anyway, what did we do? We loaded an icon. Initially, I was going to use a Flask route to grab an image from the back end and send it to the front end, but it came with headers that was describing it as an image, not a string to an image that might be loaded by Mapbox. So I was like, let's just create a folder in my home directory with images, and then I'll just basically give Mapbox a path to that local image and let it display it. Make our life easy for now. It added that image as a layer, and then you can see I was playing with rotating the image around. We'll do some more of that stuff later. What I want to do now for this video is capture mouse location so that we can get latitude and longitude from wherever the mouse is. So map.on, and we want to capture an event called mouse move, and when we capture that event, we want to pass in a function that, put a semicolon here, that captures an event. So basically this says when you move the mouse on the map, where was map defined? Remember, var map is equal to a new Mapbox GL map, and then we attach an onload event, and then we're going to attach a mouse move event. And let's see what happens with that. I could just say console.log e. Save it. Go refresh. And we're going to see nothing in the console. And I did this part on purpose because I do it all the time. But notice front end 3, and in our code I'm editing, you can't see, but I'm editing front end 4. I keep changing file names, but it does happen. So just be careful so you think you're rendering the right thing. And if you notice, the mouse event started firing off right away in the console before the image loaded, because the asynchronous aspect of JavaScript, this got attached to the map really fast, while as the load event had to go get the image, figure out, bring it in, then display it. It just took a little longer. So in our mouse move event, the console lets us kind of inspect it, and we see there's a key here called long lat, and it returns an object with a longitude and a latitude. There's also one called a point, which gives us an x and y coordinate, which is this will be 0, 0, and this will be the max x, max y for that screen. So instead of consoling log e, let's log, shoot, I forgot it already, long lat. So e sub, I think I can even just do long lat. Refresh. There we go. So this is a latitude and longitude. So now I'm capturing, and it just keeps logging every time I move the mouse. So that's pretty wasteful. But let's display it on the screen as well. So to do that, I need to add another element to my body so that it has a place to go. We had one place that we were putting our map, and oops, the map was going to a div element called map ID, and let's put this one right there, which it was already there. So this is just a pre tag. Pre means pre-formatted text, means it respects new lines and spaces and all that jazz. So what we want to do is we want to get this information to display in our body. The Mapbox GL uses straight up JavaScript, but I'm going to use some jQuery. We've included jQuery up here because it helps with accessing DOM elements. Some people say use straight JavaScript, my brother-in-law does, but we're going to use some jQuery. So I'm going to say $, and then double quote or a set of quotes, and then hashtag, which that means ID. If we use a dot, that would be a class selector. Here we got an ID called info. So what I want to do is say info dot HTML, which means it's going to go look at these tags. In between these two tags, it's going to replace the HTML contents in between those two tags. What are we going to replace it with? Well, there is I'm going to steal something from their website. So we're going to take json.stringify, our events, long lat, and then I guess .wrap lets it wrap if it's in a div element that's not long enough. So this is a JavaScript thing, and stringify is pretty obvious. It turns it into a string. So hold on, I got sidetracked. That's what we want to do. Get rid of this, add it there. I don't really want to log it out anymore because we're going to replace the HTML of .info. Now this isn't going to work right off the bat, and I'm going to tell you why, but we're going to try to look at it. So it's already reloaded, but I'm moving around. I commented out the console.log. I don't see anything up here. So what's going on? Well, if we look, the styling has everything to do with it. We include this style sheet from Mapbox. Map, position is absolute. Won't get into what absolute. There's another one called relative. But basically, it fills up the entire screen. So what we need to do is we need to add some styling so that we can tell it where the info element needs to be displayed. So display block means I don't want to get into everything. Anyway, block means push things out of its way a little bit. Position relative, margin, 0 pixels. Auto typically means your left and right margins can adjust based on where the DOM maybe wants you to go. There is nothing really that fixes its location. However, based on where we put it on the map, where is this going to show up? Position is relative, display is block. Anyway, I probably shouldn't have did that whole thing, but it's there now. And as we move around, we print our lat long. And that's not too important for us, but I just wanted to explain how we have this event. This event, if we want to add something to the DOM, we want to display it in the body of the page. Well, one, we have to have an element to send it to, and two, we have to have the data to go to that element, and that's what the selector does. This says go find the element with ID info, and we're going to replace the HTML with whatever this event shows us, and then we need some styling and to give it a place to go. And I didn't do a good job explaining the styling, but that's not what this class is about. And there's so many things that go into display block and position relative. We'll talk more about it in class. And anyway, that's how we capture X and Y coordinates. No. Oh, we don't do it. We didn't do X and Y. Let me go back and do that. So to get the X and Y coordinates, remember let's go ahead and log out the E. And so if we expand this object, we've got a point value. So let's add that to what we're displaying up here. So this is json.stringify. we can also say, I guess we can do the same thing. E dot point, and let's concatenate those together, but let's concatenate them with a new line, and then we'll make that a string. So we'll say var data is equal to this whole thing, and then we'll just replace, and I'll comment this out. Save it, reload. Uh-oh. Point.wrap is not a function. That's because I was cutting and pasting. I need to look up what wrap means then. I thought it was a text thing. Missing in parentheses after argument list. Well, what did I do? Oh, geez. Semicolons are optional in JavaScript, by the way. Alright, so we got the latitude and longitude and the X and Y coordinates. So if I come up here, I'm getting closer to 0, 0. And if I come down here, I'm getting closer to the maximum width X and Y of the current window that we're in. Alright, I think that'll do it for now. I'll be back pretty soon.